Hi. This is the first in a series that I want to do called The Human Being. Why did I call it The Human Being? Because it's about being human in this world now and the changes that are taking place within the human being, the consciousness en masse and individually. But first, I wanted to introduce you to the influences in my life, ideologically, philosophically, that work in conjunction to my inner work in dealing with my own past and my own trauma. And they actually kind of come together to show me, and it's what is actually happening in this world, a change in humanity. So the first influence to me was Stephen Mitchell's interpretation of Lao Tzu's The I Ching, the Tao, showed me non-duality. The second was Native American philosophy and the reverence for all life. Third was Christian religion, the Christ symbolism as applied to the individual human. Then there was Ernest Holmes, the science of mind, where Ernest Holmes bridged the gap between mind science and religion. Louise Hay, who continued that from an individual perspective and a trauma survivor. And then finally, the Seth Materials and Abraham Hicks. Now, the last two there are from what people call channeled sources. The people who channel them claim that they are intelligences and essences beyond this world that are working with this world. Now, I would recommend that you not worry so much about the source, but to consider the content. Because the judge of content is how it fits within your view. Now, I want to illustrate the change that's going on in the world by using the Christian religion. I spent a long time chewing on the Christian religion because it was also a part of my delusional phase. And I, at one point, was very angry at the religion. But I wanted to reconcile that, and in doing so, found a lot in it that inspired me. I don't consider myself a Christian, but I find the Bible a valuable book to read. Humanity at one point lived in a social and environmental place full of threats. Natural influence and other human influence created a desire within the human being, within mankind, womankind, humankind, a need for a deity to protect, to give them a sense of comfort in their ideological framework, a belief to have, to say that I can keep going, I can do this because I have God on my side who will smite my enemies and pave a way for me to succeed. Humanity needed that at that time. It was a part of the human evolution. Call it the emergence of humanity into the world in a sense. But humanity mastered that need of safety of a deity. They started to organize and become more collective, and through agriculture and such, and everything that brought humanity to closer groups. And so the original need of a protector God gave way to a more gentler and kinder God. So the Old Testament faded out in the New Testament surrounding the figure of Christ. The story of Christ is actually a parable that predates Christianity, but it is truly a parable of the human being, as exemplified in Revelations, in its discussions of what happens within a human being when they start to introspect and to go through everything, the changes and the challenges that happen. To me, Revelations is exactly that. It's the story of a human being becoming aware. We are now in a third shift. The problem with the Old Testament is it brought forth the need of a loving God, of a comforting God, and a supportive God. But unfortunately, the misconceptions and distortions around Christ caused issue with the religion. They were still in need of Christ to save them. And that's what held Christianity back to the Old Testament, but humanity in general now. And I'm not trying to focus specifically on Christianity, but it well exemplifies. We are now realizing as human beings that the deity that we have been worshiping doesn't actually exist. The fundamental natures of the things that we've come to believe in, the love, the oneness of us, is fundamentally true. But we've been held back by the traditions of the religions that have put it upon Jesus or Buddha or whomever it got focused in need on. I don't know as much about Buddhism, so I don't want to cause an uproar of misinterpreting. But the truth is, and this is where humanity is going, realizing that we have been all along the true source of our strength and power, that we, through our mind, through the shaping of our ideas and thoughts and beliefs, allowing the true nature of our being to come forth, we're realizing that we are the very God that we've been looking for. The path to that, and this is where my experience has shown me this to be absolutely unequivocally true, is letting go of the fears. Sometimes we have fears we don't even know are fears because they become comfortable barriers that we were comfortable with coming against. But the truth is, if you remove your fears one by one, you begin to see this, realize this truth. Because of my life, inadvertently, not only did I have to deal with the fears created by this world, I also had to deal with the fears created by me. And they went hand in hand. I worked at getting rid of the traumatic influences and the PTSD, but at the same time, I delved into all my childhood fear and all the fear I carried. I started seeing that this fear doesn't make sense. This fear isn't true. And the more I did that, the more it snowballed into my desire to see what was behind every fear. And every time I removed a fear through the support of other ideologies and communicating with other people and listening and processing, I realized that the only time you ever need to be afraid is when a bus is barreling at you at 60 miles an hour. Other than that, there is no need for fear, not when considering eternity, what and who you are, what life is. No need. Take the fears away. Remove them, challenge them. And you'll realize you've always been a beautiful, wonderful, powerful expression of life, love, and creativity. That's the new paradigm. humanity coming to. That, my Christian friends, is the second coming of the Christ, when humanity collectively begins to realize that we, as a whole, were always the Christ that we sought. I don't want people to start thinking in terms of delusions of grandeur. I've had those. Don't like them. Don't elevate the notion of us being Christ up to what we've already put Jesus on a pedestal. Bring the story and the symbol and the idea of Jesus down to humanity. The Son of God is the human being, because we are the forefront and expression of the divine essence. We are at the forefront and the leading edge of creation, co-creation, and the challenges and the revelations of love. So I will leave this part here and then begin to work and contemplate on other parts. You all have a good evening, a good night.